Your Excellency, Lady Lorimer, Chief Minister, Ministers, members, friends in sport, welcome to this year's celebration of sporting achievement in 2023. I am Sarah Corlett, Executive Chairman of Isle of Man Sport, and tonight will co-host the evening with James Davis from Isle of Man Advertising and John Watterson from Media Isle of Man. The Isle of Man is an incredibly successful sporting nation. Isle of Man Sport plays a significant part in this, supporting Manx sport in many different ways. We are an organisation appointed by government, and we act as an independent forum for the promotion and development of sport and recreation. We support sport at all levels, from grassroots participation right through to elite performance. Our Sports Liaison Committee liaises with and supports our clubs, governing bodies and sporting organisation and promotes officiating, coaching and good governance. It is these sporting clubs and governing bodies, as well as the hugely successful Manx Youth Games, which provide the first opportunity for many of our athletes to find and try their sports. The clubs then nurture and develop them, with some of our athletes going on to achieve great things. These clubs also provide valuable local sporting opportunities for those who participate on a less competitive level, but for whom sport is a really important and beneficial activity, creating social links and maintaining physical and mental health. Our Sport Aid Committee supports individual athletes and provides a range of services, including financial contributions, as well as specialists in sports psychology, nutrition, physiotherapy, and strength and conditioning. Last year, we supported 41 athletes, details of whom you will see on screen during our meal. Our Sport Aid Academy also supports our younger, talented athletes who are just starting their sporting journey. We are indebted to all those who sponsor our athletes and programmes, as well as all those who volunteer their time and energy to sport, and without whom we could not be as successful and as effective as we are. Tonight is a celebration of all that is good about sport. Sport brings people together, builds relationships, develops skills and confidence, whether this is through competing, participating, officiating, coaching, or volunteering. Just as important as all of this is the supporting and facilitating that enables our sport to happen. Sport depends on all of this, so whether you are an elite athlete, someone who has just started a sport, or someone who participates for the social side, a parent or carer who takes their family or friends to venues, or even the person who stands by the side of the parish walk route once a year to cheer, all of you are part of our sporting family, and all of you can be proud to be part of tonight's celebrations. You will hear tonight about some of the amazing things we have achieved this year, but first let us remember those of our sporting family whom we have lost over the past year, and I ask John Watterson to present this year's Roll of Honour.
Good evening. John Byrne, Castletown Golf Club captain in 2022. Marion Clegg, she was the founder of Western Ladies Darts League and the president at the time of her death. Leo Cleverley rode in local sidecar trials, he's the driver, in the 1980s. George Corkle, he was a mainstay at Moran Football Club. He was president and chairman. His funeral is next week. Kevin Cowan, Pulrose FC and Special Olympics coach. Patsy Davies, originally of Abbey Badminton Club, but was one of the founders of the Umpires Association for badminton in the Isle of Man, along with her husband Keith. Roy Gelling, at 93, he was still playing pool, but he played snooker every year for 65 years unbroken and never missed a match. Walter Gilby, well-known local politician, but also a well-known in the equestrian world. Rowley Horton, he was one of the founding people involved with junior football in the Isle of Man in 1972. Jeff Hughes rode the World Championship in sidecars as a passenger, podium in the TT, lost his life in a tragic accident in Peel about 3 months ago. Ricky Jupp, he was Mount Murray captain and president and captain of the Society of Golf Captains. He was also alongside Sean Connery in the Mr. Universe competition. Alan Kipper-Killip, MBE. He was a travelling marshal, chief travelling marshal for 40 years and chairman of Ramsey Motorcycle Club. Marg McGee. We all miss Marg. Stalwarts of local netball. She was also heavily involved with Douglas RUFC Rugby Club through her son's involvement, Craig and Marg. Lucas Lucky Martin died tragically at 21 of meningitis. Played football for Moran and Douglas Royal. Jessie Perry, well known in Peel Golf Club, and she also played in the Ireland Championships on a number of occasions. Christine Prescott, Nee Kissick, she spent the last years of her life in North Carolina, but she was an athlete and a gold medalist in the first Ireland Games in 1985, 3,000 metres. John Purvis, John died last year. He was fourth in the road race at Commonwealth Games in Edmonton, 1978. John Quilliam was another Commonwealth Games clay shooter in the 1982 Games in Brisbane, Australia. Norman Senegals finished third in the 1962 Paris Walk. That was the third edition of it. And he was also a keen bowler in his later years. Henry De Silva, he was playing table tennis a couple of weeks before he died. He was well known in fencing and athletic circles, was a Commonwealth and World Masters fencer. Kevin Skillicorn, his funeral is tomorrow. Kevin was the 1959 Ireland golf champion, also a keen bowler. Esther Tier, she was president of Fencibles Badminton Club, also played for the Ireland. Sue Williams, she was lady president at Rowney Golf Club in Port Erin. And Jack Wood, who rode the Manx Grand Prix and the TT in the 1950s, and later became the clerk of the course for the TT and Manx Grand Prix, the only person ever to have ridden in the TT and also been the clerk of the course of it.
Thanks very much, John. Good evening, everybody. Time now to officially introduce our guest of honour this evening, and a warm welcome back to home as well to her. If I give you a clue, for those of you who don't know, most of you do, of course, she was the first and still indeed the only British Olympian snowboarder to compete at 4 Winter Games. As an athlete, she has numerous World Cup medals in her discipline, and to a lot of the people in the room and watching this tonight, she will always probably be known as the girl from Ronagh in the south of the island who decided to go on a family holiday at the age of 10, asked her mum and dad could she go snowboarding, and the rest is very much history. But before we meet her, let's just have a recap on some of her career highlights. Please, can you give a warm Isle of Man welcome to one of our very own Olympic snowboard crosser, Zoe Gillings-Pryor. Bring back memories?
Yep, all good ones. Apart from that last jump was actually really scary.
It looks scary for me. I hope you will indulge me for a second, because I remember, I've only met you a few times, but the time I remember first meeting you wasn't in the most salubrious of places. It was actually in a car park of a DIY store in Douglas. I don't suppose you remember that, do you, by any chance?
I do actually, yes. It was because I'd qualified for my first Olympics, which was in 2006. And B&Q was sponsoring the British Olympic Association, and they were presenting these sort of packs of tools to all of the Olympians, and they presented this to me, and you came and interviewed me about it at the time. It's actually still at my parents' house.
What, the pack?
Yeah, it's still in use, about weekly.
I remember, but I couldn't have told you what for. Other DIY stores are available. Okay, so high risk, high adrenaline, your sport. It's been quite a career. Naturally, with anything like that, injuries. And I know you had about 4 or 5 concussions, cracked skull, and at one point I think you literally shattered 8 bones in your left foot quite early on in your career, I think. Now at that point, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking, hang on a minute, I'm not going to even be a one-time Olympian, let alone a 4-time Olympian?
Well, as you can see a bit from the videos there, the sport I did was called border cross. It's not the safest of events, to be honest. You've got sort of jumps that go about as high as that balcony over there, and you're travelling from about here to almost the end of the tables sometimes on some of the jumps. And it was actually, ironically, it was during a photo shoot that I ended up hurting my foot. I was the British snowboard team was sponsored by a car company at the time, and I was jumping over one of their cars, and I cleared the car. That wasn't the problem, but then I landed sort of an uphill bit of the jump instead of the downhill bit on the landing, shattered all the bones of my foot. But it was unfortunate timing, but yet brilliant timing at the same time, because it was about 11 months before my first Olympics, and I'd already met the qualification standards. So I knew I was going, and I had an aim. And I went and had surgery on the foot, and the surgeon that did the surgery said that I wouldn't be able to snowboard again, and I'd be lucky to be able to walk normally again, which was not great news, but it hardly even went into my head, to be honest, because I'd had lots of injuries before, and I knew that my body would heal, and I knew that I was a strong person and I would be able to get through it, and I had that aim of the Olympics to go to. So I just had in my head, look, I have to be back on snow in September to be able to go to the competition in December to be able to get the points I need for the Olympics, which are in February. So I had sort of very definite aims, and it was tough, but I made it just.
You certainly did make it. Now obviously, you come from Ronnig in the south of the island. Your family are here today, or some of them certainly. Where did you get the bug? Because unless I don't know otherwise, there aren't too many places to practice near Ronnig. And obviously, I mean, pretty much the internet would have been in its infancy. Yes, it was on television. Yes, there were the magazines. But where did you actually get the bug and the desire to say, I want to snowboard? Was it on that holiday, or was it earlier than that?
I'd always been really interested in sport. As a kid, I did pretty much any sport that I could. I wanted to try out all the different things as well. And we'd gone skiing a few times as a family, and I'd learned to ski. And then my elder brother, John, who's sitting just down there, actually.
Hello, John.
He had started snowboarding a couple of years earlier, and I thought, I kind of fancy giving this a go. So I copied him and went snowboarding, and then I think I skied for about 10 days in the next 10 years after that. I just loved snowboarding. I wanted to spend all my time doing that if I could do, as well as doing other sports on the side as well. But my whole life I've always been interested in doing lots of different sports. And we went to little competitions together. I went along with John. Our dad was our coach to start with, and I sort of just followed along, and then went in bigger and bigger competitions up to the Olympics.
And the whole career went pretty damn well, it's fair to say. I mean, 7 World Cup podiums. I suppose one was an obvious standout highlight.
Yes, out of the 7 World Cup podiums, one of them was on the top of that podium, where annoyingly they didn't have the British anthem to play. They didn't expect the British girl to win, I don't think. An American won the next one a couple of days later. They had the American national anthem, yeah. So I didn't get.
I bet you told them too.
Yeah, I don't actually mention it to one of the officials.
And why not? I mean, you've obviously had a great career, and you were still continuing up until not long before COVID, and even I think after you gave birth to your first child, you went back, I think, fairly quickly in terms of snow sports, winter sports. You were back on the slopes pretty quickly. That's quite unusual for this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Quite a lot of women athletes think that you can't be a mum and an athlete at the same time. And to say it's easy wouldn't be quite true, but it definitely is possible. It's especially rare for winter sports athletes, mainly because of all the travelling we do. We can't really train when we're at home. We have to be travelling a lot of months of the year. But I had a brilliant support structure behind me as well. My parents and my husband's parents were both really, really helpful. So they came along and they helped look after my girl when she was really little while I was competing. And all the way through my career, I had a really good support behind me, friends, family, driving me to all over the world, almost, or at least driving in Europe. And I think that's really important to have that kind of the people there helping you. It's almost a team of people around each athlete, and it's a different people for different athletes. But that's really important to be able to get up there and do the best you can as an athlete.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, definitely. Occasionally I'll watch the World Cups and board across on TV or something, and I'll think, oh yeah, I know what line I'd take around that corner, and ooh, that looks like a fun feature, and that kind of stuff. But I think I did the right thing stopping when I did. I did the 4 Olympics and then stopped shortly after the birth of my second child, actually.
Leah and Jake. Leah's here tonight, I think, somewhere.
She is. She's trying to wave from up there, actually. Stand up, Leah.
Give her a wave back. And how old's Leah?
She's 7.
7, so she's come over especially tonight. I mean, any indications that son or daughter might like to follow in your footsteps, or are we a bit early?
Probably a bit early for now, but I know Leah especially does absolutely love sport. She's got a list of sports that she wants to try. She's already involved in 4 sports every week that she's doing. She just wants to be able to do all the different sports she can do, and she's just getting into snowboarding now. So if she wants to do one of them to a high level, I will support her as well as I can. If she wants to do anything else, I will support her in that too.
Well, watch this space. Just finally, I want to ask, because of course you're actually putting something back now for the next generation, if you like, aren't you? You where you're based, you've got an academy up and running.
Yes, I run a ski and snowboard academy, which is based out in Austria, and we've got senior boarders who are senior snowboarders who are competing in competitions all around Europe, and then we've got loads of juniors as well. And the juniors program has actually just exploded this year. We've got tons of new people coming in, so it's really, really exciting.
Great to see you. Great to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our appreciation for Zoe Gillings-Pryor. Thank you very much. And Zoe, if you're happy to stay here for a few more moments, because you're a member of an exclusive club, really, the Isle of Man Sporting Hall of Fame. Every so often there are new inductees into that Hall of Fame. There hasn't been for quite a while, but there are 2 new inductees this year, and I'd like to welcome John Watterson back to the stage to tell us who they are, and for Zoe to present the awards. Thank you.
For those of you not familiar with the Hall of Fame, basically the photographs, they were first established in 2003, so it's over 20 years now. And the photographs, frame photographs, they adorn the walls of the atrium, the NSC, and also the corridors down to the changing areas. And I think I checked last night because we discussed it, and there were 44 in the initial induction, and since then on average it's been 1 or 2 a year, although as James just said, there hasn't been any for a few years now. I think it was difficult with the COVID years, but we could have actually had 4 this year quite easily. We've got 2 tonight, which I'm sure you'll agree are very worthy. World Tour cyclist Lizzie Holden won gold in the elite women's time trial at the 2023 British National Championships held on the Croft motor racing circuit in North Yorkshire. The UAE Team ADQ rider completed the 27.4 kilometre route in a total time of 37 minutes, 2.136 seconds, to win by a margin of 14 seconds. It was a deserved maiden national title for the Manx woman, who had grabbed the bronze medal at the corresponding event in Scotland 2 years earlier, having also been 3rd in the Elite Women's Road Championships in 2019. She finished 5th in the 2022 Commonwealth Games women's time trial in Wolverhampton, only 23 seconds outside of the medal positions, capping a strong week with 19th place in the bunch finish to the women's road race. Other highlights to Lizzie's career have included 4th overall in the 2022 Lotto Belgium Tour, 6th in the 2019 European Time Trial Championships, and 14th in the 2023 UCI World Time Trial Championships representing Great Britain at Stirling in Scotland. She's participated in 2 Tour de France de Femmes and 3 Giro d'Italias. Lizzie is unable to attend this evening's ceremony as she is suffering from the Epstein-Barr virus and is currently laid up in Girona, Spain, where she is based. Her father, Rob, is here, and a leading performer professional in his own right. He will receive the photograph. Thank you. Locally reared and educated, Bevan Rodd reached the highest echelons of his professional career when representing England at the 2023 Rugby Union World Cup in France. Born August 2000 in Scotland, he was brought up in the Isle of Man and educated at the Buchan School in Castletown for 7 years before attending Sedbergh, one of the best sporting schools in England. Bevan later graduated through the Sale Sharks Academy and, eligible for both Scotland and England, represented the latter at under-16 and under-18 levels. He made his professional debut in 2019 and was a member of the England squad for the 2022 Autumn Nations Series. His first cap came against Australia at Twickenham when England defeated the Wallabies 32-15. This was followed a week later by a 27-26 success over world champions South Africa. Bevan's World Cup debut in 2023 was highlighted by his try during a crushing 71-0 victory over Chile in Lille. But his proudest moment was when he came off the bench for the final 20 minutes of the bronze medal playoff against Argentina in Paris, which England won 26-23. Before inviting Bevan up to the stage to receive this framed image, I'm sure that the Chief Minister, as a very capable back row man for both Ramsey and Vagabonds in the not-too-distant past, will be interested to know that Bevan is not the first rugby player to be installed into the Isle of Man Sporting Hall of Fame. Another Alf Penketh, was in the inaugural selection of 44 people to be included a little over 20 years ago. Alf, a 3-quarterback for Douglas, played for the top English side, Blackheath, and was a member of the first British Lions squad to tour Australia in 1888. Alf, I think you played alongside Mr. Penketh's descendant, Chris, at Ramsey. So, Bevan, please, if you could come up and hopefully receive this. Thank you.
Once again this year, students have been enrolled onto the latest Shaw Sports Leader programme that focuses on developing their coaching skills, but also attaining a whole host of other qualifications in first aid, disability inclusion, safeguarding and protecting children. And a summer of mentoring with experienced coaches follows, and all leaders have a chance then, an opportunity really, to develop their coaching skills as volunteers, activities, clubs, schools. Shaw every year highlights a young leader who's probably gone that extra mile. And to present the Shaw Sports Leader of the Year Award, may I welcome to the stage their Service Manager, Gareth Price-Jones. The Shaw Sports Leader of the Year goes to Ellie Johnson. Congratulations, Ellie, and thank you to Shaw for their support. Now, we're all here in celebration of sport, of course, the sporting success of Manx athletes, but also the Isle of Man generally, as we honour our sporting stars and shine a light on our unsung heroes. The fact that tonight's shortlist features more than 60 people across a range of sports, I think, again, just goes to show that we're a nation which punches above our weight. And, well, we're about to be reminded why. There are bios on all the nominees, incidentally, on the souvenir programmes on your table. Now, to announce the winner of the Under-21 Sportswoman of the Year award, sponsored by Suntera Global, the Group Director, Ian Begley.
The nominees are...
From athletics, Lydia Morris. From cricket, Lucy Barnett. Cyclist Ruby Oakes. From motorcycle trials, Caitlin Adshead. From rallying, Bonnie Papper. And from hockey, Sienna Dunn. Ian, can you reveal the winner, please?
The winner is Sienna Dunn.
Now, naturally, she's a rising star, so perhaps not surprisingly, she can't be with us this evening, but Sienna did speak to us a little bit earlier on.
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, I hope you're all having a great night. I'm honoured to receive this award in such a competitive category, and a huge thank you to Suntera Global for sponsoring this evening. I send my apologies for not making it tonight, but due to training and league commitments, it has made it difficult for me to attend. I am extremely grateful for the opportunities which have been granted to me over the past year, in which I was lucky enough to experience a European Championship in Germany and a Junior World Cup in Santiago, along with several other test series across Europe. None of this would have been possible without the support of my parents, Paul Jones, and the rest of Isle of Man Sport, who I am ever grateful for. The coming year looks to be really exciting, with the prospect of a European Championship in the summer, as well as important matches with university and club hockey. Once again, I would like to say a huge thank you to the sponsors and to Isle of Man Sport, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening.
And to collect the award on her behalf, Sienna's mum, Bernie. The Suntera Global Under-21 Sportsman of the Year, Sienna Dunn. Well, we'll turn our attention to the Newfield Under-21 Sportsman Award now to meet our nominees and to find out the winner from the sponsor, Harry Davies.
And the nominees are...
From athletics and triathlon, Corin Leeming. Also from athletics, Regan Corrin. Another athlete, Sam Perry. From cricket, Carl Hartman. And mountain bike enduro, Isaac Batty. From Taekwondo, Nino Ontoy. And from kart racing, Jay Pearson. Can you tell us who the winner is, please?
I can. And the winner is... Corin Leeming!
Well, he's had quite a year, I think it's fair to say, although unable to attend tonight, and with good reason. Let's hear from him.
Hi, thank you for the award. Thanks to Newfield for sponsoring the award, and thanks to the Sports Awards Committee for voting. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend the awards. I have a uni assessment on the same day. I had a really enjoyable 2023 season, with the highlight for me being the Island Games, where I picked up 2 golds, silver, 2 bronze. I'm really looking forward to a 2024 season, where I'll be starting in a few weeks' time with a road 10k and a half marathon planned for March. Bye.
Short, simple and to the point, and to collect the award on his behalf is Mum Catherine. Thank you very much. Corin Leeming, the Under-21 Sportsman winner, highly talented all-round performer, and thank you to Newfield for their sponsorship as well. Well, the next award this evening honours the achievement of individual athletes who refuse to be held back by disabilities and they display courage and determination at a high level. To present this award from the sponsor, Standard Bank, the Head of Banking Propositions at Standard Bank Offshore, Sanja Tumblety.
And the nominees are...
From darts, Darren Kennish. Special Olympian Duncan Watterson. Also in the Special Olympics, Zoe Lambie. And another Special Olympian, Sean Roberts. And from swimming, Adam Shuttleworth. Sancha, can you reveal the winner, please?
And the winner is Duncan Watterson.
Not so fast, Duncan.
No.
Many congratulations. You captained the Isle of Man athletics team at the Games in Berlin, World Games in Berlin last summer. Shot put gold, silver in the 100 metres, and you and many other Special Olympians here tonight as well and watching on really continue to rise above everything and put the Special Olympians right at the top of the tree, and the recognition increases. What was that feeling like when you got that gold last summer?
I was completely lost for words. It's just magical, I think it is, when you just get the gold, and it's just like, again, it's representing the Isle of Man in the Special Olympics. Again, that's another honour as well. That's what I say.
You play hockey, goalkeeper for Castletown for hockey as well. So you're an all-rounder. Have you got a favourite?
That's on the spot now. I probably would say athletics, but also hockey as well, because again, it's working in the team, and yeah.
You've been around at this level competing for some time now. So what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is my family, because they've motivated me all the time. My very first coach when I started up was Graham Davies. He was just phenomenal, and my current coach now, totally fan. And again, he just keeps pushing us to our limit, and we do that for our other athletes as well.
And in terms of challenges, obstacles you've had to overcome to get to this stage, any stand out?
It's going to be the shot put. I think each challenge, every throw, you never know who I'm going to go compete against. Someone who might look like me or taller might throw further than me, and it's just a challenge every time.
You've been around the world as well. Any favourite destinations?
I would probably say my first destination was Athens. That just stands out. That's my first time in my World Games. So.
Well, I think it's fair to say with that record and as the captain of the Isle of Man athletics team, we should call you Captain Fantastic. Your disability sports winner, Duncan Watterson. There is no shortlist for the next award. In fact, it's not even awarded every year, just when deemed fitting. The Leonie Cooil Courage and Inspiration Award recognises someone who, just like Leonie did, showed resilience and courage and is an inspiration to others in Manx sport. This is to be presented this evening by Leonie's brother Marcus Cooil, who I'd like to invite to the stage. And Marcus, let's find out the recipient.
My name is Sally Green. I'm a community cricket coach for the Isle of Man Cricket Association. I originally came from Derbyshire, on the Isle of Man over 10 years. Started working for the Isle of Man Cricket Association about 6 or 7 years ago. And my role is community cricket, so I organise, coach in schools, organise the Isle of Man's community programmes, so Crickstart, Manx Youth Games. But I also coached the women and the men's national team, Hip Academy, over the last year. In 2022, I started getting a lot of hoarseness in my voice. I've got asthma, so I got a little bit anyway through my asthma, but it just wasn't going away, and I noticed it most when I was delivering in schools. So I went to my GP, mentioned it to her. I did a 2-week voice rest, but nothing really changed. So from then, I went and had a number of tests, MRI, CT scan, and then was moved on to Aintree, where I did further tests, including a PET scan, and they revealed an early stage vocal cord cancer or severe dysplasia. So it was decided that I would have laser surgery as treatment to remove the abnormal cells. I was very unwell afterwards, and I ended up in Nobles after the first surgery for about a week. But the significant impact is obviously on my voice. As a cricket coach, I use my voice a huge amount, and my voice has deteriorated, and at times it's just been a whisper. So being able to manage the coaching, which is what I love to do, along with the Cricket Association, so that's been the biggest challenge.
So I've known Sally now for just over 2.5 years. Ever since I've known her, she's been a real inspiration, especially in the bowling side of things. That's kind of my main forte, and she's been incredibly helpful in that side of things.
I've known Sally since I've started work for MSR. She was a community coach while I was a community coach as well, and our paths first originally crossed then. And then obviously coming into the role what I do now with the Manx Youth Games, Sally's been the coordinator for cricket, and she's just a stalwart within cricket. And obviously with everything she's going through at the moment, she doesn't miss a beat still. We have monthly meetings and she comes and still attends them. If she ends up missing them for any reason, she catches up during the week. She's always in touch through emails and stuff. So how she carries on, I really don't know, but yeah, just a fantastic woman.
Sally has been my coach for the past 7 years now, and over that time she's stayed committed and enthusiastic no matter the circumstance or anything that she's been through. She's enthusiastic into anything she does, wants everyone to improve, and I just hope she knows how much we appreciate her.
She's so dedicated, especially after everything that she's been through. She's still there, still putting herself forward for the team, and it's just amazing. She's always there through whenever we need her, and we're just incredibly grateful and thankful for everything that she does, and I hope she knows how much we appreciate her.
Cricket has kept me going in these really difficult circumstances, particularly immediately after surgery when it's particularly tough when the voice is very weak. But organising sessions and being able to go to sessions 3 to 4 weeks after surgery gives me something to look forward to. So I would just say to people that anyone's going through difficult circumstances is to keep going and continue to do the things that you love to do, because it will raise your spirits, even though it might be difficult to leave the house, just to find something that you'd love to do and to keep moving forward.
The Leonie Cooil Courage and Inspiration Award goes to Sally Green. Many congratulations. The reaction from your table said it all.
Well, that was a surprise because I knew half the video because I was involved in it, but I didn't know the other half. So thank you very much. It was very emotional.
Very emotional, and a very challenging year, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's been a challenging year and a half, but you just got to try and keep going, keep moving forward. And I love to coach, so that keeps me moving.
How have you got through it? I mean, we've heard a little bit about it on the video, but I mean, every day, obviously the cricket helps, but you need more than that.
I don't know really. I mean, it's just try and find that inner strength, but a lot of support from my parents, teammates, out of my Cricket Association, and my partner Greg, who's also a coach as well. So, but Aintree Hospital, fantastic. I mean, unbelievable care and support from my surgeon, Dr. Kinshuk, and the team. I mean, second to none, really, and still ongoing.
And how are you now? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling well, not this moment, but feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm just being monitored currently, so I'm in a rest from surgery at the moment. So hopefully no surgery for, well, certainly the next 6 weeks anyway. So that's as far as I know.
Well, we wish you all the very best in your ongoing journey. I think it's fair to say, ladies and gentlemen, a very determined lady. The Leonie Cooil Courage and Inspiration Award goes to Sally Green. It is time now for another popular category, the Veteran Sportsperson of the Year, also keenly contested and presented this evening by the newly appointed Minister for Education, Sport and Culture, Daphne Kane.
And the nominations are...
From athletics, Sarah Webster. From Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Hayley Curtis. Archer, Leslie Slight. From Judo, Chris Horton. From athletics, Oren Smith. And race walker, Lorna Grieve. Minister, can you reveal our winner, please?
And the winner is Sarah Webster.
The paparazzi have finished. I haven't quite. Sarah, many congratulations. We've been here before, haven't we?
Yes, sorry.
No, not at all. Thoroughly deserved. I want to ask you about 2023 because it was quite a year. And I was going to say, when you reflect on it, where does it stand out in terms of merit, in terms of your career so far? On saying that, have you had time to reflect? Because every Sunday I've been down south in the last 6 weeks, I've seen you pounding the streets, so I don't know if you ever stop.
Yeah, 100-mile weeks are quite interesting. It's 2023 was just an amazing year. It all came together. I had the marathon, then the 100K. I never expected to get the GB selection, but yeah, had to qualify for that and then get that. And then out in India was just an incredible experience. Getting team gold and bronze individual was just, yeah, a dream come true, really. It was, yeah.
I mean, talking about the 100K, the Anglo event, it was a British championship. It was a British record. And I think it was the fifth fastest time in the world, ladies and gentlemen, the fifth fastest time in the world. And of course, it wasn't just a fraction or by even a couple of minutes. I mean, it was something like 23 minutes, 24 minutes?
Something like that, yes.
Absolutely smashed it to smithereens. When you're in the final stages of that event, is that on your radar? Are you thinking, you know what, I could be very close to or on course for a record here? Or after 100K, I would imagine, I have no idea, it's so grueling that you just want to get finished.
Yeah, it was the plan going into the race was to break the British record. nobody, including me, had any idea I would break it by that amount. The poor people sitting at home, my coach, my parents, thought that I had still another lap to do because each lap was 20 minutes. So they were thinking I must have another lap to do because that would be 20 minutes.
And you were finished.
And I would still have broken the British record. So yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking for them. I must admit the last lap was a bit of a blur. By then I'd stopped caring about anything. It was just get round. I wanted to walk up the hills and I thought if I walk I would never get started again, so I just had to keep running. And yeah, it was just literally ticking off every stride in that last lap.
And when you found out that you'd got the record and by some, what was your reaction?
Yeah, completely thrilled and just, yeah, representing England and, yeah, getting this enormous trophy that I hadn't expected at all. It was just, yeah, and to break the record had stood for 30 years, so it was just really, really special to do that. So.
And then, as you say, to be called up to GB for the World 50K, to get individual bronze and team gold, what was that experience like?
That was just incredible. The other three girls in the team were all on paper much better than me, and they were all going to go off, and it was just a game of, you know, how could I stick at my pace and hope that a few people will come back to me, and they did. They came back and yeah, just managed to get the bronze medal, so it was just amazing.
Well, it was amazing. Your achievements are pretty amazing. And I was going to say you've got nothing left to prove, but I get the impression that you might have one or two ambitions left in the not too distant future. Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm back at the Anglo-Celtic Plate.
Another 100K?
Another 100K in 3 weeks' time. The England team is incredibly strong, so I'm not expecting to win, but at the same time, if I could break the European, get under 7 hours, which would be the European record, that would be incredible. And then try and go for a world record in the 12 hours and the 100 miles in the summer. And then hopefully GB selection for the 100K in December. So that's where I want to be.
No wonder I see you every weekend out and about. Incredible is the word. Your veteran sportsperson of the year, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Webster. There's been no shortage of nominations for the next category tonight as Ireland teams continue to thrive at varying levels in sport. To remind ourselves of the shortlist, may I invite to the stage from Crowe, Isle of Man, Phaedra Bird.
And the nominees are
the Isle of Man women's cricket team. Corinthians AFC women's football team. Isle of Man boys under 16 hockey team. Isle of Man women's senior netball team. And the Isle of Man 4x100 metres men's relay team. Phaedra, can you tell us who the winner is, please?
The winner is the Isle of Man ladies cricket team.
Quick name check.
Lucy, Bliss, Caitlin, Jo, Emma, Claire, Kim, Ellen, Becky, Danny.
2 Beckys. Did you say? Yeah, Becky. What an adventure! I mean, this time 4 years ago, the Isle of Man did not have a women's cricket team. I mean, now you're ranked about 30 and 36th in the T20 and the ICC, one way round or another. What type of adventure has it been? What have the last few years been like?
It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. I think it's come from not being particularly out there for women's cricket on the island, and the work that Greg and Sally have put in over the last few years has been absolutely phenomenal to be able to get us to this point. So massive thank you to the pair of them down there.
Last summer, you were competing against Romania, Austria, Malta, just to name a few. You were unbeaten for so long as well. I mean, when you're going up against that level of opposition, do you prepare differently, or do you think exactly the same and just have confidence in yourself? How do you approach it?
No, we did, James, because the first opportunity that we got in Spain last November was completely different to how we approached Austria and Romania, because we'd had such a vast stretch of training afterwards, because Spain was a bit of a let's just go and see what happens, see what we can do. We did pretty all right. So now it's just get into training, get that squad concreted, work really hard all the way through, and the whole group as a whole brought everyone on to make sure, and we actually really surprised ourselves, I think, when we got to Austria, and that really powered us through to the Romania.
What's the secret of your success, if I can ask?
I think it's just teamwork, the way we all gel together and we all work together and play for each other, really.
And final question, Joe, I've got to ask, what's next? Because this could potentially be just the start. How far can, in this case, women's cricket go?
To be honest, we can probably go as far as we want to take it, really. It's up to us. It's up to us to put the effort in, get there to training, put in what we need to, and go out there and take each game as it comes.
Well, a terrific team. I think it's fair to say the Crowe Isle of Man Team of the Year. How's that for the women's cricket team? Thank you. And bravo, ladies. Another milestone for Manx cricket, and the Manx radio interview could take a while if they all want to speak. Moving on to our next award. In many ways, the administrators of sport are the unsung heroes, the quiet achievers behind the scenes whose work often goes unrecognised, but they build their respective clubs and sporting associations through tireless efforts. In some cases, I think it's fair to say, without the administrators, the elite athletes wouldn't achieve what they go on to achieve. The Sports Administrator of the Year accolade is sponsored by long-time supporters of this event, formerly Isle of Man newspapers, Media Isle of Man. And let us welcome to the stage sports journalist and deputy editor Andy Dalrymple.
And the nominations for the Media Isle of Man 2023 Sports Administrator of the Year are...
From archery, Joy Goff. From athletics, Petra Atchison. From Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Sarah Redmond. From hockey, Niamh Goddard. From motorcycling, Brenda Crellin. Also from motorcycling, George Peach. And from netball, Sue Webster. Andy, can you reveal the winner, please?
I certainly will. All very worthy nominees, but the winner is Joy Goff.
They're jumping for joy, no pun intended. They're jumping for joy. Joy Goff, many congratulations. You've been doing this a long time now. You're widely respected. All right, I'll stop there. No numbers. You obviously still get something out of it. What do you get out of it?
Well, somebody behind the scenes has got to get these people into line and get them to do what you need them to do.
The Chief Minister, did you hear that? Yeah.
No, when I joined the archery club, somebody quickly realised that I did admin as my job, and I was sort of booted onto the committee, as it were, and I'm still there. No, I'm not on the archery committee. I'm on the administration of the association, which is I've been doing for a long time now. And although we've only got 2 clubs in our association, we still have to give all the paperwork in, needs to be done every year, same as everybody else. And I know that the admin side is hard behind the scenes, a bit like the swan. We're swimming along on the top, but underneath you've got to get the work done.
They've never let you go then, basically, that's what you're saying?
They're saying, yeah.
Tell me, because obviously a lot of that work is vital, as we've already said, but what's, in terms of when you see, from the first time they pick up a bow, when they're 7 or 70, and it does, it's a sport with all ages, and then you see them, whether it's just for enjoyment or they progress to international level, or in some cases world level, what does that mean from you and your colleagues here in the Isle of Man?
Well, we start off and we give them a really good basic training, and then we encourage them, get them to join in, shoot against them. Once they get the handicap, they can beat us all. So you just keep that going all the way. If you get somebody up to the elite level, well, you just absolutely, it's wonderful.
Well, they don't all beat you because you've still got it, girl, because looking at the Island Games last summer, silver medalist.
I have to thank my team for that one. There's a saying, the older I get, the better I was. And I think I'll leave it at that.
I can't follow that. The Media Isle of Man award for sports. Yeah, threw me completely then. I forgot what I was going to say. Sports Administrator of the Year, Joy Goff. Congratulations. The Isle of Man, of course, continues to have many fine sport ambassadors as well, who represent and indeed promote the Isle of Man on many sporting levels around the world. So with such a rich vein of dedicated sportsmen and women, some of who are here tonight, those in contention really for this next award are a bit of a who's who, if you like, of some of our finest talent. To announce the nominees and find out the winner of this category, a member of the Department for Enterprise, the member of the Legislative Council, Peter Greenhill.
And the nominees are...
From cycling, Sam Brand. Equestrian, Yasmin Ingham. From motorcycling, Richard Milky Quayle. From golf, Anna Dawson. And cyclist Mark Cavendish. Peter, can you tell us who the winner is, please?
I will indeed. And the winner is Mark Cavendish.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know if we've ever had a finer ambassador for the Isle of Man on the world stage than Mark Cavendish. And to collect the award, his father, David. Thank you, Peter. First question we all want to know, how's Mark?
I think he's doing okay. He wasn't too well at the weekend, but he'll pick up, and it's not about this month, it's about the summer.
Well, we'll come into that. I mean, it doesn't need to be said, but everybody knows what the aim is and what the main focus is this year above anything else. Presumably that focus is there, and it doesn't need to be spoken about, presumably.
No, I think it's quite obvious, and after last year, yeah, he had to do another year.
He's a busy guy, as well as his family commitments. He's on the go all the time with his pro commitments. As parents, do you get to speak to him that often?
Not so much, no. He's so busy, and he's busy with his own family. He needs that time as well, but it's great to catch up with him when we can. He's over at Christmas.
You do see him now and then, just riding suddenly out of the blue, and he does come back a couple of times a year. As his dad, what did you make of the documentary?
I think it's very good. I think it encapsulates who he is, and he's always been like that since a young child, so he knew what he wants, and he'll make every effort to go there and get it.
A truly world-class performer, a truly Manx world-class performer. I know everybody here and well beyond is so proud of him, and will be rooting for him again later this year. Many congratulations, Mark and Dave. Thanks very much for collecting. Our Ambassador of the Year is Mark Cavendish. Let us turn to coaching now, and the 2023 Coach of the Year, sponsored by Duke Travel, they're long-time supporters of this event, and presented tonight by Peter Duke.
And the nominees for Sports Coach of the Year are...
From athletics, John Whitlow. From cricket, Sally Green. From hockey, Paul Nuttall. From Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Conrad Roberts. From Motorcycle Trials, Michael Owen. From powerlifting, Lisa Grant. And from swimming, Lee Holland. Peter, can you reveal the winner, please?
And the winner is Sally Green.
We should have brought your table up here tonight, I think. You could have been up here three times. Do you know what? I've just thought of this. It was about 11 months ago, and your partner Greg won this award, and he couldn't be here because he was with you and you undergoing treatment at the time, I think.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Last year it was obviously a difficult year, and I was quite unwell at that point, and he was trying to balance the coaching as well as my health, and so yeah, that was the reason why he wasn't. So Lucy and Matt had to do the presentation, which she was thrilled about.
I bet. I think you're going to need a new mantelpiece actually now with all this silverware. When you look back at 2023, away from all the personal challenges, what was the highlight of men's cricket for you? Because there were plenty.
Well, there was lots of highlights. I mean, there was two for me. The women's national team have just gone on a fantastic rise. As you said, we weren't playing women's cricket 4 years ago and now ranked 30 in the world. But also, Kaz is on the table over there, the Manx Youth Games was a fantastic event. I mean, the weather was phenomenal. And 110 kids playing cricket at Crompbourne, aged kind of 6 to 9 years of age, was also another brilliant day. So two completely different ends of the spectrum, but both fantastic.
Inclusivity is key, obviously, and you're involved across all aspects. You see it. You're close to the men's, the women's, the youth games, youth game of cricket. So in that regard, other than damn hard work, how have you reached the stage you're at on all the platforms at the moment?
In terms of coaching the different levels, well, I was a player initially, but I started coaching at quite a young age, and coached a range of different ages, coached for my county, Derbyshire, but just trying the different ages, and I enjoy them all, so it's hard work, but just keep going, yeah, just lots of continuing coaching pathway, doing the different levels, and just lots of hard work.
And in terms of your Derbyshire experience, how important is that expertise when you go and do summer schools, school camps, school coaching sessions? How much of that do you take out to put back into cricket locally?
Well, I use all the experience from the years because I ran a girls' team when I was 16 and was just thrown a team to, you can run these because you play cricket. But yeah, I use all that experience at the varying different levels, so yeah.
And if I can repeat one of the questions I put to one of the women's team's members before, how far can you go?
Well, I think Isle of Man cricket can go a long way. I mean, there's some fantastic players on the Isle of Man. The women's team play Guernsey in about 6 weeks' time. You wouldn't know with the weather, but 6 weeks' time, and they can continue to rise up the rankings. And our aim is to be in the World Cup qualifiers in a number of years' time. So there's no reason why they can't.
No reason why they can't, and no reason why they can't when they've got special, determined leaders in this field like yourself. Sally Green, you are the Duke Travel Coach of the Year, and quite an achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, Sally Green. And now the next award is, again, one that is presented as and when an achievement comes along that's worthy of special recognition. This year is one such occasion, and to present the Achievement on the Isle of Man Award, let's please welcome back to the stage our guest of honour, Zoe. And this should give you a clue.
And the winner is Leonie Cooil.
the winner of the Special Achievement Award, because the first time anyone, male or female, has won the Parish Walk, the end-to-end and the Sidquirk Half Marathon in the same year. Lorna Dleeve. Lorna, you're fairly new to this sport in many ways. What, 3-4 years, something like that? I mean, when did you decide, I'm going to take up this sport and I'm going to win the lot?
It was when I had children, actually, and I needed peace and quiet and to get out and have my own space, and walking was the perfect opportunity to do that.
You've been walking ever since. The Sidquirk is the third of the trilogy, if you like, back November time. So when you were in the final stages of that a few months back, you'd have been aware, presumably, that, hang on, you're in a position to make a little bit of history here.
I actually didn't know that this was the first time anyone had ever done that. I did go into it thinking, in for a penny, in for a pound, I may as well give it my best. But the shorter distances aren't my kind of race. I prefer the endurance events, and there's a lot of really good fast walkers out there, so I knew that I would have some competition, and it was an awful day. The weather was horrendous. Maybe that helped. I wanted to get finished quicker. I just went for it, and it was David Griffiths, who does a lot of reporting on Manx athletics. He was the one who dug down and found that I was the only person to have won all three in the same year. So yeah, it was a nice surprise.
Quite a milestone. You mentioned the children there, your husband and your 3 boys. A couple of them, I believe, are already showing an interest in junior race walking, because it's a thriving scene.
Yes, yeah. My eldest Finn, he's really keen. He's really competitive and loves to get out and do any races he can. And my middle son Leo, he likes to get out and join in mainly for the chocolate bar at the end, or whatever's going, a buffet or whatever. And Elliot, he's too young yet to see what he's going to do, but it's good that they're showing an interest in some way.
Sensible guy. In terms of your achievement, how do you hope it will encourage others to take part in these wonderful community events, or indeed inspire others to perhaps start or commit to race walking or something else?
Yeah, I think it goes to show that, just because you've got a family and you're a mum and, you can't have these ambitions and you can't take up a sport, you're never too old to take something up and, and enjoy it and crack on and see where it brings you.
I heard on the grapevine, true or false, that you're planning something else rather big in shortly.
I would really like to do a 100-mile race, but they don't come round so often. So yeah, I'm not sure what's next. I've got the parish again this year, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
I know 100 miles is not quite 100k, but if we can get your people in touch with Sarah Webster's people, her people talk to your people, I'm sure we can arrange something. You're the history maker. The Special Achievement Award in the Isle of Man goes to Lorna Dleeve. And so we move on to this year's Lifetime Achievement Award. It is sponsored by CM Partners. Tonight they are represented by Director Hazel Kelly. Hazel, if you'd like to come to the stage, please. Now, there is no shortlist for this award, and every year the choice of recipient gets no less straightforward. The island's blessed with many outstanding people who dedicate themselves to supporting sport. This year is no exception.
For as long as I remember, he has been heavily involved in the Sun 100. We have great memories as children, me and my siblings, of being on the back of the trailer, throwing the bales out around the course. His commitment and dedication is immense, and without his knowledge and input, the Sun 100 would struggle to run. Although he has plenty of admin work, he is first to arrive and last to leave any work party. The Sun 100 is a massive part of our family, with us all either being involved or had been involved, and the support he receives from Sue and his family will continue.
Well, what can you say about this man? He's Mr. Southern 100, always has been as long as everyone can remember, and in general, one of life's all-round good guys. and I think everyone would agree that he fully deserves this award. I first met this gentleman in the paddock at Scarborough many moons ago, and he used to tap me on the shoulder every year and say, "Chris, I don't suppose we can tempt you to come to the Southern 100, can we?" And I always had British Championship commitments and stuff like that, so I couldn't really commit to it at the time. And then one year he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Don't suppose there's any point in asking you, Chris, if you can come and do the Southern 100? And he turned around and started walking away virtually. And I said, "Do you know what? I will come and do it this year." And he just turned round in absolute shock and surprise. And it went from there. I think I came over as a newcomer in 1999 and just didn't stop doing the Southern 100 until I retired. And one of my favourite meetings, as I think it is with most people, most riders. And yeah, just one of my favourite courses ever. I just love the place.
He was obviously a fan from a very early age, sitting on the bales at the start line in 1958, I think it was. He just couldn't wait to be 16 when he could get out on the course and marshal, which he did for many, many years at the Iron Gate. Not just content with marshalling, he then decided to do a fundraiser with Alan Hampton in 1982, raising money for the club and our new clubhouse. He also then took over as secretary in 1989 and then took over as chairman in 2018. His commitment to the Southern 100 has never wavered. He is Mr. Southern 100 through and through, and I think he thoroughly deserves this award.
What can you say about this guy? He's been the face of the Southern 100 ever since I started to go there in 1983, over 40 years ago. We've become friends and he's just good at everything. Even when the chips are down and there's a red flag situation, he's still calm and friendly with everybody and he gets through it. He's very professional. He's probably one of the reasons that why I've carried on road racing, because he brought that calmness to it. This award is justly deserved.
It's very well deserved. He has done so much for our sport. The event that he organises and runs faultlessly every year. Even when there's some issues, he just makes the whole job better for everybody. Him and his team do an absolutely amazing job, and being involved in his event for the last 12 or 13 years, and every year it's great. And he made my transition into road racing much easier. He certainly deserves it.
If you hadn't worked out who it is, Hazel, can you please tell us who is the recipient of this year's Lifetime Achievement Award?
I can. The winner is George Peach.
Oh, George!
Damn.
Congratulations, sir. Is it fair to say, well, you seem actually, you were taken aback by that and you weren't expecting this accolade?
Not at all.
I looked over at the table and the family. It was a wonderful moment when the penny dropped, shall we say. What I want to say is that my family have been friends of your family for over 30 years. There are people who've been on that video and who are here tonight who've known you almost twice as long. There are people who've known you for 5 or 10 minutes by comparison. But what we've all found out in the last few weeks when putting this together is that the consistency, countless friends, they say the same thing. George is loyal, he's dependable, he's committed, he's motorsport mad, and he'd do anything for you.
Right.
In terms of the Southern 100, there was that lovely picture of you as a young lad sitting on the hedge watching the bike. So when you and like-minded friends got together, and then John Watterson tells me, I think you were 16 when you marshalled for the first time.
Yeah, it was what we always wanted to do, and we just got involved in it, and it's been probably the biggest part of my life, apart from my family, obviously, but yeah, you know.
You obviously carried on in various roles, Deputy Sector Marshal, Secretary, Chairman, and obviously your youngest daughter Rachel's involved in the secretarial role now. It's been very much a family affair. But tell me, what were your expectations when you first signed up age 16? Did you have any expectations?
Not at all, really. I just loved watching the bike racing and wanted to be involved. And that was it, basically.
It's known as the friendly races. What have been the high spots for you over the years? Do a couple stand out? I mean, there were plenty, I'm sure.
I mean, obviously with bike racing, there's good and bad, but I mean, there's been so many fantastic races, and I've made so many wonderful friends throughout the sport, and that's the high spots for me.
And in terms of change, how has it changed from when you first got involved? I mean, that was some time ago.
We've always tried to be friendly. We've always put the competitors first, as opposed to if we can help the competitors, we will do. And it's always been our aim, and it's the whole club. It's not just me, it's everybody in the Southern 100. It's us.
Well, Ian Lucky Locker was there saying, I mean, you saw the videos, he was saying, I wouldn't have carried on racing as long as I did if it wasn't for George Peach. Chris Palmer, you kept at him, you kept persuading him, and I bet you he's glad he did now, because he married one of George's daughters, incidentally. All these people have had so many nice things to say about you, and I can see there's some family members, children and grandchildren up here today. I think a very special family photo is on its way. In terms of the award, I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, you could find a more amiable and more modest recipient. The Lifetime Achievement Award goes to George Peach. And after all that, have I got to mention, he also plays bowls for the C team at Castletown. He coaches the youth kids, and he does rifle shooting, or used to do rifle shooting as well. George Peach, thank you. So on to the penultimate award of the night, which is the Sportswoman of the Year award. I'd like to invite our guest of honour, Zoe. I promise you this is the final time, back to the stage to present this award.
And the nominees are...
Athlete Nikki Arthur. Also from athletics, Rachel Franklin. Another athlete, Sarah Aston. And yet another athlete, Sarah Webster. Equestrian, Yasmin Ingham. From race walking, Erica Kelly. From cycling, Lizzie Holden. And also from cycling, Becky Storey. Zoe, can you tell us who the winner is, please?
The winner is Lizzie Holden.
Well, Lizzie can't be with us this evening, as we know. We did manage to catch up with her, though, to reflect on a pretty electrifying 2023. She has this message for us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this Isle of Man Sportswoman of the Year award. It really means a lot to me, especially considering the talent across the island. I don't think it's an easy award to win. So, yeah, thank you to everyone at Isle of Man Sports Awards and the whole committee for voting for me. Apologies that I'm not there with you tonight. I had planned on traveling over to the island for the awards evening, but yeah, unfortunately, I was recently ill and then discovered that I had the Epstein-Barr virus. So for the moment, I'm not racing, not training, and not really doing anything at all. My biggest challenge for the moment is going to the supermarket. So yeah, this is where I am now, just focusing on my recovery. But yeah, I think on a more positive note, in terms of last year, it was quite successful for me. I joined a World Tour team, which is the highest level that you can be in cycling. It's been a goal of mine since I started cycling, and it allows me to have cycling as my job, which is, always been a goal of mine. Being a part of this team last year allowed me to race some of the biggest races on the calendar. I was a part of the team for the Tour de France Femme, which is the biggest women's race that there is, and it's also been a huge moment in history for cycling, women's cycling, and I think women's sport in general. So yeah, being a part of this team for that race was a really big highlight of mine, and something really special to be a part of. In other highlights, I would say racing for GB. It's always a special feeling, although being from the Isle of Man, I think still pulling on the GB jersey is always a really big honour. And last year in Glasgow, I had the opportunity to race both the time trial and the road race. But I think in terms of my personal biggest highlight last year would be winning the national time trial championships. This has also always been a goal of mine, and to actually succeed was quite surreal. And I think it took a while to settle in. I think even on the day, I think a few hours, it didn't feel real, but that was a really cool highlight of mine, and something really special. For the moment, I'm taking everything day by day, trying to just enjoy this time to fully relax, which is quite rare as an athlete to actually have this time. So for now I'm focusing on that, and I think I'm really fortunate that I have a very supportive family who have been there from the start through the successes, but I think more importantly through the times when things aren't going so well, as I think it can be quite lonely at times. So having the really big support network there is really important. And I think the same goes for the Isle of Man sport. Every time I'm successful in a race, they reach out to me, but also if I've had a crash in a race or like now, when things aren't going so well, they reach out, and they're always there. And I think that support network is really important, and it's a really nice feeling knowing that they're always there through the good and the bad times. I think that's probably enough of me rambling on, and to be honest, I really don't enjoy talking to a camera, so this has taken a few tries, more than I would like to admit. So I hope everyone's enjoying the evening, and again, apologies that I'm not there with you all, but I hope you're enjoying learning about everyone's successes. I think it's quite easy to be stuck in your own bubble, your own sport bubble, so I really enjoy the Sports Awards evenings for this reason, to see everyone else's journeys, and it's something that I really enjoy. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the evening, and thank you so much again.
And I'd like to invite Lizzie's mum, Rachel, to collect the award on her behalf. Thank you very much, Rachel. Lizzie Holden, life on the World Tour. We wish her well in her recovery. She is the Sportswoman of the Year. Thank you, Zoe, as well. So on to our final award of the evening, the Isle of Man Sportsman of the Year Award. To present this, please welcome the Chief Minister, Alfred Cannon.
And the nominees are...
From athletics, David Malarkey. Boxer, Matthew Rennie. From rugby, Bevan Rodd. Motorcyclist Joe Yeardsley. Also from motorcycling, Jed Etchells. And another motorcyclist, Ryan Kringle. And from swimming, Joel Watterson. Chief Minister, can you reveal our final winner, please?
And the winner is Bevan Rodd.
Bevan Rodd, many congratulations. It's been quite a whirlwind rise, I think it's fair to say. A lot of the foundations were laid here at the Buchan, Neil McGregor and co. Does that seem an age ago now?
Yeah, I went back to Buchan today just to relive some memories with Neil. It was good to see the school again, and yeah, as you said, it all started there. And it's just crazy to see looking back on the journey now, how it all started here as well.
Now, obviously, everyone's been talking about the World Cup. It was quite a spectacle. You scored against Chile. You came on and played in the third place playoff against Argentina, and now are the recipient of a bronze medal. But in many ways, it was so much more than that. I mean, talk us through what was the whole experience like?
Yeah, well, for me, the dream's always been to play at a World Cup, and to be able to fulfil that dream twice is just huge for me. And then even able to score and then play in that third place playoff was honestly just a dream come true, because I remember watching England when I was 7 years old in our house in the Isle of Man here, and now that dream's come true, and it's just crazy.
I suppose, Chief Minister, it's hard to imagine that we'd be at a stage where we're talking about a homegrown product, if you like, playing in a Rugby World Cup. That must have seemed a pipe dream.
Well, there's been an incredible progress with junior rugby over here over the last sort of 15, 20 years. A lot of people, some in the audience tonight, have had a lot to do with that. It's hugely impressive, and obviously Bevan's been through that for some of his career, and Bevan's leading the way, but there's others coming behind him, I think, as well, coming up the ladder. I think Patrice Bell now under 20 for Ireland, and I think he's you might play against him sometime.
Yeah, no, I'm playing with him at the moment, with Harry Thompson and Patrice Bell, both at Sale doing really well, so they're pushing through the ranks as well, which is really good to see.
Let's talk about Sale, because you recently signed a 3-year contract there. In Bevan Rodd's world, in the ideal world, what do the next 3-5 years look like?
Yeah, good question. I think win something with Sale. We're in the European Cup or the Premiership. We've got a chance this year, so hopefully we do that. And then the Lions tour's coming up, so hopefully get on that as well. Just start building the bridges until the next World Cup as well. So, yeah.
Your director of rugby at Sale says it's a cert for you for the Lions in the future. What do you think of that?
I don't know what to say to that, to be honest. No, it's obviously lovely to hear things like that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what he says. He's meant to say nice things about me, hopefully, because he's my coach. So it matters what other people think, and it can all end very quickly. So I just need to hopefully keep going in the right direction.
Well, we will watch this space. Just a quick update on the toe injury, because obviously that ruled you out of the Six Nations. How's the recovery progressing?
Good, yeah. So I had my operation to repair my plantar plate and put my bones back together in my toe. So, yeah, end of March back playing, first game for Sale, which is why I've been able to come over here tonight for the first time in a while. So it's been really nice.
Well, it's really great to see you, Chief Minister. Thank you. Bevan Rod, thank you. Made in the South, manufactured in Sale. The Sportsman of the Year, Bevan Rod.
So we've come to the end of our celebration of sporting success for last year. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Before everybody rushes off, anybody who's won an award, can they stay behind for photographs, please? As I say every year, I'm very lucky to have working with me such an enthusiastic and committed team. This year, all of the members of Isle of Man Sport have been part of the Sports Awards Committee, and they're responsible for the awards you have seen tonight. I would like to say thank you to David Morgan, Andy Barnum, Sarah Vorster, Dane Harrop, Tim Leeming, Stephen Cragine, John Lund and Laura Warren, ably assisted by Paul Brideson, Sam Kane, Kirsty Cooper and Lisa Motley. I'd also like to thank John Watterson and James Davis for co-hosting this evening with me, and without whom this evening would not be the event that it is. My thanks also go to Paul Jones as our Sports Performance Coordinator, who liaises with all of the athletes, and the Sport Aid Committee, Peter Duke, Mark Denton and David Stacey. Thanks also to Aaron Quinn and Louise Corkill, whose very hard work in all areas ensures that the support structure for Island sport continues on a daily basis. Thanks also to the Villa Marina staff, to the Department of Education, Sport and Culture for the use of the Villa Marina, to Artisan Platters for the food tonight, to our sponsors of the athletes and the various awards. Thank you to 910 for tonight's presentation, and also, of course, to our guest of honour, Zoe Gillings-Breyer, one of our highest performing local athletes and of whom we are very proud. Again, would the winners of the awards please stay behind, don't run off for the photographs. And please could you stand for the Manx National Anthem. Thank you very much and good night.